and he started like punching me like this. Like he avoided my face, but he like started punching me like on the side of my head, and I was just like covering my face.
That was one of Diddy's exes talking about her experience with the man, but then she seemingly revealed that she wasn't the only one with that experience.
And I saw a picture of him and Lori, like the same exact pose.
What do you mean?
I mean, the same exact pose that he took with me.
Okay.
And he did the same with Lori.
And to put the icing on this dark cake, her dad seems to have been in the know of it all.
Diddy and Lori Harvey, they're heating things up in Italy. Notice her arm is on the back of his chair.
I think it's more interesting that Steve Harvey's there.
And on days when he's not watching Diddy dine with his daughter, he's kissing Diddy's ring on live TV.
See, the thing about Diddy, he didn't make a big splash about it. He just kept pressing him. He put up a lot of his own money for this.
The past couple of days, even weeks, have proven to be some of the darkest times of the entertainment industry, as bad news has broken from all angles, involving several high-profile celebrities. Some news were just bad, while others are considered borderline inhumane. However, some celebrities seem to have consistently fallen into the less-than-human aspect of all this. And the one person that fits into this description is rap executive Sean Diddy Combs. The rapper, who has already been embroiled in several dark headlines, seems to have found himself in yet another pickle with one of his exes. But this is no regular ex. This is the daughter of yet another controversial celebrity, Lori Harvey. And it seems her dad might done some dirty deals in the past with Diddy, which in turn landed her right by the rapper's side. Of course, I know how this whole topic might be difficult for a lot of people to talk about, but did you really think Diddy getting with someone who had just hopped out of a relationship with his own son was normal? I think most people would flag that as pretty weird. Well, it seems the explanation we've all been waiting on for that very strange family exchange might have finally come to our doorstep, as word on the street is saying that Lori might have become Diddy's doormat. I mean, she's absolutely gorgeous and has been with more than a handful of successful people, but it seems Diddy might have not been her first choice of a partner, as their union seems to have come from a place of debt payment. Not Lori's, her father's. See, only about a day or two ago, one of the most powerful people in the industry who was present during the days of Diddy's rise to fame and fortune, s0ld Knight, spoke about how Diddy seems to have had certain people in the industry clean up after him every time he makes a mess. And the person Knight named was Lori's dad, Steve Harvey. The former Death Row record executive didn't just name Harvey as possibly being Diddy's errand boy, but he also seemingly dropped a paper trail connecting Diddy's media cleanups to Steve Harvey. Now, why would this successful celebrity host demean himself to the point that he's obligated to clean up after another guy while having watched the same guy, who I might add is closer in age to Steve, date his daughter? I can't really call myself a detective, but according to some seeming self-acclaimed detectives on social media, it seems Steve might be under Diddy's thumb, and in the worst way possible. So how did he get to that position, and exactly what role has Lori been playing? Stay tuned as we dive into the deep end on this one.
Like full-blown stories I've heard. I've dated a father and son before.
You'll agree with me that Steve Harvey is easily one of the most successful entertainers of all time, right? Well, even if you're in doubt about it, the man has a track record of successful TV shows and comedy tours, and don't even get me started on his book sales. The point is that Harvey is a force like none the industry has seen in years, and that should be enough to exempt him from having to kiss the ring of other entertainers. But it seems Diddy might be the exception to all things in the industry. According to recent reports, it seems Steve might be taking orders from the bad boy CEO, to the point that even his own family members aren't off limits. That's right, the claims aren't only tied to Steve, they're also tied to his daughter. You see, over the years, there have been several claims that Steve Harvey might have been Diddy's henchman. However, it seems those tales were more than just claims, as Diddy's longtime rival, s0ld Knight, recently made some revelations about it. Amid the Tupac saga, s0ld Knight dropped bombshells about Steve Harvey, challenging the narrative of love that the celebrity host claimed to have for the iconic rapper. Knight painted a picture of Harvey not just casually hanging out with Diddy and turning it into a side hustle, but also protecting someone widely suspected to be linked to the demise of the All Eyes on Me artist.
If you love Pac so much, how you with the motherfucker that everybody say got something to do with the first get down that happened to Pac in New York, then the second one. Since you want to bring up the source of what.
Adding to the twisted narrative, Knight exposed Harvey for disrespecting Tupac's memory by dismissing the very issue that influenced not only his life, but also the lives of many others, the notorious East Coast-West Coast beef. While other people died from the violence of the beef at the time, including Biggie Smalls, Steve seems to have managed to fool the world into thinking Diddy's hands are squeaky clean of it all. I didn't say they aren't, but I know what you're thinking. Anyway, having to clean up his mess seems to have been only where Steve's job for the business mogul began. It seems he might have been required to do a bit more, case in point, giving his own daughter to Diddy. What's more is that Lori wasn't even with Diddy for the reasons they had the world thinking. A couple of months ago, the model and entrepreneur sat down with E! News host Adrienne Bailon in a video interview released recently and said she often hears claims that she is in a relationship with someone whom she hasn't even met in person. Lori, who on a few occasions was spotted with the bad boy honcho, insisted that she never dated the musician, a revelation that has now left fans wondering if that was indeed a confirmation that Diddy may not be who we all thought he was. However, that was not the story in the media then. According to reports, rumors began circulating that Lori had started dating Sean Diddy Combs in July 2019. The pair were pictured together numerous times in Italy, Mexico, New York City, and Atlanta during their alleged romance. During one of their vacations, Lori was spotted with her arm around Diddy during a dinner with Lori's stepfather, Steve Harvey. Diddy's son, Christian Combs, even gave an insight into their relationship during a red carpet appearance, saying, "They are good. They're just being private time. That's up to them." While the pair never publicly spoke about their relationship, people close to them mentioned that they might have only been a fling, as opposed to being a full-blown couple. Him and Lori had a fun fling, but Diddy is still healing and focusing on himself right now, explains our insider. He is not ready to be in a long-term committed relationship and is focusing on his kids right now. However, it seems all of that might have just been a cover-up for Diddy's alleged other inclinations, as fans started to point out that Diddy used Lori for a different purpose than most of us think. One user tweeted, "Y'all really think Cassie said a prayer and is an example when I really just believe she was Diddy's cover-up? Cause he's gay, she's out of her contract. And now, Lori Harvey up next." Speaking of Cassie, it seems that might have been another mess-up that Steve had to clean up for Diddy. Just last week, the headlines erupted with the explosive legal battle between Diddy and Cassie, unveiling a dark chapter of ugly crimes alleged against the business mogul. The lawsuit alleges several instances of abuse committed by Diddy, including R, battery, and forced S acts with male S workers. In the filing, Cassie depicts the mogul, head of her former label and then romantic partner, as a textbook A, luring her into what she first perceived as a fatherly, protective relationship, only to find herself in an unequal and violent S relationship. Diddy's grip on Cassie, as per her claims, was maintained through a series of chilling intimidation tactics. This sinister toolkit allegedly included blowing up a man's car, the ominous act of dangling a friend perilously over a 17th floor balcony, and the disturbing request for Cassie to carry Diddy's gun in her purse. The fear that reporting these incidents to the police would only serve as another excuse for Diddy to inflict harm kept her silent. A chilling narrative unfolded, a tale of power dynamics and manipulation that shook the foundations of their relationship. Diddy, in response, vehemently denied the disturbing allegations, setting the stage for a legal showdown that would unravel the truth behind the headlines. Cassie, Miss Cassandra Ventura, was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. The lawsuit she brought against him read, "For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of A, violence, and ST. In the whirlwind 24 hours between explosive allegations and an unexpected resolution, a carnival of conjecture and supposition unfolded. The saga included a conspiracy theory involving Kid Cudi's car and purported visions channeled by Diddy's late former girlfriend Kim Porter through psychic Sloan Bella, a revelation shared on YouTube 5 months prior. Despite the surreal twists, the incident prompted a deeper dive into the case's intricacies. The terms of the settlement, shrouded in secrecy, left tongues wagging. Cassie's legal team even claimed they engaged in talks with Diddy's representatives before the lawsuit was filed. Allegedly, Cassie was offered a hefty sum in the ballpark of 8 figures to keep her silent and prevent the legal storm, an offer they reportedly turned down. Come Friday night, the settlement was unveiled, a revelation that brought a sense of closure, yet its details remained concealed. Cassie and her lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, released a statement expressing that both parties are satisfied with the resolution. Cassie said she decided to end the matter in a friendly way, with some terms under her control. This adds another layer of mystery to the end of a story that had caught the public's attention. After the resolution, there's a suggestion that Cassie might have agreed to a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, as part of the deal. Even though it's not clearly mentioned, it implies that breaking her silence could get her into significant trouble. This idea becomes stronger when you look at Diddy's history. He's been involved with NDAs before and faced accusations related to his choices. The hidden aspects make it hard for people to know the exact details of the settlement. Diddy's past with NDAs also raises doubts, hinting at a pattern of controlling the stories in the media and keeping secrets behind the shield of legal confidentiality. The rumors, while not directly stated, suggest hidden truths and a complicated legal strategy that keeps the real story just out of reach. Thankfully, there are a couple of other people who have suffered a similar pattern, one of whom is Aubrey O'Day, and she's spoken about not just having to sign an NDA, but also about Diddy's disgusting pattern. Famous American singer Aubrey O'Day has made her way into the headlines after she commented on the recent fiasco between Cassie and Diddy. After Cassie filed a lawsuit against Diddy and accused him of many crimes, Aubrey O'Day also spoke up and claimed she was in complete support of Cassie. Aubrey first took to Instagram and added a story captioned, "Been trying to tell y'all for years, prayers up for this queen at Cassie."
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
She then spoke to Page Six and talked about how she supports Cassie. As the news about Aubrey O'Day speaking up against Diddy went viral, many social media users were reminded of the December 2022 Call Her Daddy episode, where she claimed that she was fired from Bad Boy Records after she refused to do something she wasn't willing to. Talking about how it was not talent-wise, but in other areas at the time, she did not take Diddy's name or make it clear whom she was talking about. However, she did call working with Diddy a torture. As she said, he was the hardest person that you can work for, and it was torture. And not the work part of it, but the other stuff. Mind games. There was a lot of betrayal and lies. However, her revelations didn't end there. She also spoke about how, like Cassie, she was also required to sign a very strict NDA after the rap mogul revealed that he was giving her and all his other former artists their publishing rights back.
I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
In a bold move, O'Day not only rejected the hush-hush contract herself, but also urged her fellow band members to follow suit, refusing to be shackled by secrecy. Pressed by the curious host on the timeline of this revelation, O'Day responded, "I got it a few months ago when he started doing this, shedding light on the recent turn of events. The decision to speak out against the NDA carries a rebellious undertone, challenging the enforced silence that often shrouds the dealings in the industry. The backdrop to this unfolding drama is the 6-year collaboration between O'Day and her group, Danity Kane, with Bad Boy Records. The journey that spanned 2 platinum albums now takes an unexpected twist, with O'Day stepping into the spotlight. The part of all of this that's tied to Steve Harvey is that even after one of the recipients of Diddy's ill-timed goodwill to the people who literally made him all his money while they took crumbs, is that the celebrity host has taken it upon himself to portray Diddy's move as almost angelic. I mean, even fans knew it was a fishy move, and they spoke their minds on social media. One person wrote, "Diddy must be on his deathbed because this is totally out of character." Well, Steve and his team didn't seem to think so. How do I know? Here's what was posted on Steve's website. Combs reportedly began the process of returning his former artist's publishing rights back in May 2021 after he began to turn down multi-million-dollar offers to sell Bad Boy's catalog. Instead of accepting a 9-figure sum for the record label's historic works, Diddy decided to kick it back to his artists, who helped make Bad Boy the powerhouse brand it is today. As if it wasn't already bad enough to paint it as Diddy turning down money when the rapper already raked in several millions for over 2 decades from those same publishing rights. But Steve went even further overboard with his claims, mentioning a particular artiste that had previously called Diddy out for this very reason. The comedian's website wrote, "The discourse surrounding Combs' business practices in regards to Bad Boy has been going on for years, especially after select artists called out their former boss. s0ld moved to the forefront of the criticism when he put Diddy on blast in a scathing social media post before the Grammys in 2020. He continued to fire shots at Diddy over the next couple of years in his music and online. Fans hadn't heard much about the status of Diddy and s0ld's feud until Cameron revealed that s0ld had gotten his publishing back last week. Can you now see how a man that's capable of going this low just to paint somebody that everyone knows is horrible as a better person might also be able to give his daughter out to the same man?" While no one knows exactly why Harvey would go to these lengths to preserve Diddy's image, word on the street is that Diddy might have helped him out when he was still struggling. And